The struggle of getting content, the struggle of wanting to remain consistent, the struggle of waking up, of sitting down and writing a million content and just planning out the whole month and wondering, thinking about all the content that you're going to shoot, and then on just the next day you find yourself out of schedule. This is all about personal branding. Welcome to the third episode of the human algorithm of things. We are growing strong, we are cruising nicely, and today we're just going to talk about personal branding and how do you maintain consistency. I am talking to you guys as much as I'm talking to myself. I hope that makes sense. So today we're going to talk about personal branding, and before we get into the topic, as usual, I'm going to read two things. I'm going to read this time I received reviews that are basically appreciative, and just the usual well done, nice, good work. The second thing before we dive into it is reading one piece of content that was posted in either my WhatsApp, my Twitter, it's now called X, YouTube, LinkedIn, and where else? Instagram. Yeah. So let me just read one thing that I felt motivated, and I appreciate the person who posted this. And this is now on LinkedIn. Let me find it. Yeah, this is by Faraz A. That is what this is what he posted during the week. I cannot remember the exact day, but he posted something. This is what he posted: delaying in creation of personal brand is aiding your competitors. Let me repeat it, because sometimes you need to be louder for the people at the back. Delaying in creation of personal brand is aiding your competitors. So yeah, that is what he posted. And not to bring any pressure to anyone, or not to sound like the world is ending tomorrow, but to me it has that element of pressure, but it also has that element of truth. And hear me out. And this is a very strong medicine we're getting into, because let's get this over and done with, so that as we proceed to the next episode, so we are clear about what we're talking about. So when it comes to personal branding, in the first episode I said who this podcast is for, and who this podcast is not for. What have I eaten? I am stammering. So when I talk about personal branding, I'm looking at it from a point of building a strong, sustainable brand. And I'm not talking about the things that I had said in the first episode that are either malicious or you're trying to get instant fame and everything. We're looking at someone who's trying to, build something worth the while. So moving on to today's topic, branding yourself. I am only going to take you through 4 simple, cliche, you would say, points that you can use when you're trying to brand yourself. And I am speaking to you as much as I'm speaking to myself, so that when you're struggling with consistency, when you're struggling with getting content, when you're struggling to be authentic each and every day, these are struggles that we all face. And one would resort never to post, one would resort never to show up every day, one would resort to give it to someone else to do it. Whatever thing you decide to do, just know it's hard for everyone, and it's actually a full-time job. And that's why such agencies like marketing agencies and all these things exist. They help you not to fall into so many mistakes and challenges, so many tips and guides online on how to remain consistent. But it all narrows down to having a strong vision. If you do not have a strong vision, then you're doing everything in futility. So that's what we're going to talk about today. I'm jumping right into it because I don't want this episode to look so long. At the same time, I want to exhaust as much as I can. So I have 2 books that I'm currently interested in. One could be that I'm reading already, and the other one is just reading reviews and everything. There's this perception, there's this myth that if you pick a book, as someone who likes to read, if you pick a book, that you have to read it from cover to cover, like you have to finish it. That is a huge myth, and reading books is as good as looking through social media. Like, there are those posts that you'll read and you'll even go to the comment section and look at what people are commenting about that. And then there are those that you will look at and you will instantly scroll through. So there is Measure What Matters by John Doerr and The Courage to be Disliked by Ichiro Kishimi and Fumitake Koga. I might get those names. I may have butchered all their names, but you will bear with me. So the Measure What Matters, just from the title itself, is going to eat into this content, and the courage of being disliked. The courage to be disliked. That's the title. The courage to be disliked. Yeah, so the 4 stages I'm going to talk about: setting an objective, showing up every day, surround yourself with what makes you happy, and measure your progress. Those are basically the things that we're going to talk about in this episode. And if I'm going too fast, maybe I talk too fast, maybe you can slow the play speed. I know there's that option. When I'm skimming through videos on YouTube, I end up putting 1.5 or something sometimes. The modern world. Before we start, let's look at the importance of personal branding. Why is it so important, and why should we even care? Because at the end of the day, starting out the human algorithm of things, we talked about building connections, and you cannot build connections if you are not authentic. That is so unfortunate. You cannot build serious connections if you're not talking about things that are actually you have experience. You either have experience in it, or you have learned so much into it, and you have like relevance. Those are the things that really push people to come on board or to like your cause or anything. We have several goals. We have several reasons. Someone would want to become an influencer. Someone would want to get more customers for your business, and others would just want to document the journey, like we talked about in the second episode. The reasons are so many, but what is it that we cherish about personal branding? Because in the digital economy, you have a strong vision. You only need to show up every day, and you only need to remind yourself consistently that you're doing the right thing. At the end of it all, you have to measure your progress. So when we're looking through social media, we're looking through brands, and we're looking through competitors, and we're looking through everything that people are posting online, we normally see that we normally get engrossed, and we waste a lot of our time, unfortunately. And sometimes it's for that slight feeling of dopamine that we get. But the thing is that sometimes we don't realize that there are those people who are very intentional about this, that they have set clear goals. They have their content figured out. They have a calendar that they're following. They have a content plan all laid out. And for us, we always just get to see them every day, and we're like, oh, I wish I could be this person. And forgetting that these people have decided and have taken a personal initiative to say that they're going to move the needle, basically. So first, you have to have a very clear objective of what you want to do. Like, you have to have a very clear objective for your business, and that is on social media, that aligns with your business goals. You don't just do it like a hobby. You have to have it as clear as it should be, that this is what I want to achieve. And then in every post that you're putting, I once had one very nice mentor of mine, beautiful mentor, who said that in every post that we see online, it's creating awareness, it's either nurturing a lead, or it's either converting or getting people to buy something. So those are 3 things that your content actually does. But when most of us look at things from just the surface level, we just think people posting things, people liking things, and we don't see that these people are really intentional about the content they're putting out, and they're measuring and they're trying things. When you hear of A/B testing, is it A/B testing? Where people actually compare 2 posts and see how they have performed. For us, we just look at the end product and we wish that we could be them and wish that our personal brands would be like theirs, but we don't see the work that is behind it. So when we create clear objectives every single time we're posting, it gives us that sense of getting up and doing things and getting things done. And if this is something you'd need assistance with, I had written something about it, and I had written even a plan that you can actually use when you want to now post content for your personal brand, for your business, your leadership journey, or any other thing. I had created something, and it's something worth considering because I feel like it works, because I normally use it even nowadays, and I normally even use it with clients, and it actually gives some results. And then you have to show up every day. And that's why I'm saying, once you have created an objective or a goal, the next thing is to show up every day. Show up every day. Consistency beats everything. Like consistency, they say passion beats everything. Consistency is another thing that beats everything. So if you show up every day, you're going to get data. You're going to get yourself some data to actually measure what you're doing. And there's the fear of thinking that people are going to laugh at you. There's the fear of thinking that your brand is going to the audience that we're dealing with nowadays is a very no nonsense audience, and they can actually call you out. So you fear that maybe if you put out content today or the next day, you might offend someone. Guys, in this world, remember that your brand is not here to please everyone. Your brand is here to do its purpose, to achieve its goals, to achieve its vision. So showing up every day means you're showing up to your critics, you're showing up to your competitors, but at the same time, it means you're showing up to your investors, to your potential investors, you're showing up to your potential sponsors, you're showing up to your potential partners, and you're even showing up to your potential clients. So you have to choose your battles. Do you want to hide under your crash, or do you want to get, to make progress and to make money? So those are the things you have to consider. Because you have to keep in mind at the end of the day that marketing is about making your brand come up when a client wants to buy something. So that's why you don't do marketing for today and go and hide under your whatever place people hide when they're disappointed because someone criticized your content or because nobody reacted to your content. You're going to market it every day, because when you're marketing your content every day consistently, you are going to learn so much about your clients. You're going to learn so much about your content, and you're going to iterate and make changes, and it's going to improve your content. You just have to show up every day. Then the third one is surround yourself with what makes you happy. Surround yourself with, because when you're posting every day and you're putting content every day and you want people to resonate with your content, sometimes it gets frustrating and you feel like there's no impact you're making. These are the times to introspect, and these are the times to look back and remind yourself of the objective and of your vision. Measure what matters at this point is you set an audacious goal and create quality and quantity key results. And then the last one is measure progress. So we've talked about creating an objective, show up every day, surround yourself with what makes you happy, and then measure progress. Measure progress is very important. Things that are can be measured can be achieved. That is what we need to understand. And because you have set objectives that are smart, you're now able to measure them, because you're not just saying, I want to be on social media. You're saying, by the end of 3 months, I should be at this point. And that will help you to measure and see, is my content really making sense to my audience? When you're creating content, you're sitting down and you're picturing yourself talking to someone like your potential client or customer who's seated across the table, and you're talking to them directly. So that will help you really to understand who your client is, and to understand their journey, and to understand the level of knowledge. And at that point, I like this, and I'm going to digress a moment to bring in this piece, that when you're manufacturing toothpaste, you would also want to teach people how to brush their teeth. So you see how content is not a problem. Content is not a problem. It's only that you have to look at your clients, because you have a variety of clients, because these are clients, investors, these are partners, the business partners and all that, and we normally call them stakeholders, right? Every avatar of your customer, put them across the table and see what's the level of knowledge they have about my product, and the level of knowledge they have about my product, and what are their interests and their challenges, so that when you're talking to them, you're actually making a serious conversation, connecting with them, and you're not actually shouting so much at them, and they don't really understand what you're saying. By intentionally setting goals, showing up every day, putting out content every day, telling people this is what you're about, people will start to actually react to your content. And that is what you measure. You measure and see how impactful is it. If I was creating awareness, how much awareness have I created? Or if I was to nurture someone to become my client, how much effort do I need? Or how much what are the key performance indicators that are showing this person is coming on board or this person is not? And then also in measuring progress, it helps you to change things and tweak things to suit your brand and to suit the objective you want to achieve. So that's basically it, and that's all about this podcast. I hope you've learned one or two about personal branding. I like reading because I get so much information in reading, and it really helps me with changing and upgrading my life. So personal branding has a lot to do with putting your foot down and saying, this is what I'm going for, it's what I'm going for. And if you're measuring it and you're seeing that you're not making any progress, you can change your mind at any one given point. When you wake up tomorrow and find that the algorithm of things didn't reach its potential or didn't reach its goal, that is part of life, and failure is part of life. We're not going to beat ourselves so much about that. Interact with the content and let me know what you think. Yeah, so that's all we had for today, and I don't want this to be a long video.